What's up, guys? It's the Reality Grizzly. Y'all already know I like quickies, so let's get to it. But first, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more reality updates. So the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 3 concluded, and baby, I'm gonna need a stiff drink after this season. Gordon finally reveals the secret that he's been diagnosed with a mental illness. He says it's bipolar 1 and it causes his mind to work opposite.
I have been diagnosed with a mental illness, bipolar 1. The difference between bipolar and bipolar 1 is really the degree of manic. In and of itself causes your mind to really work opposite. And your mind tricks you into saying you are normal.
He says, yes, there are meds you can take, but it really comes down to doing the work yourself. He claims when he's having an episode, he can't tell it's happening, but Mia can. He adds the phone calls to the other husbands were out of anger. Andy asks Gordon, what about locking Mia in a room and taking her phone away? He says he remembers taking her phone, but does not remember locking her in a room. Mia says it did happen. It happened. Gordon says Mia would still be with him had he got control of his manic behavior earlier. G let us know that he did check himself into a hospital and Mia was there every step of the way except for one day. She even brought him a change of clothes. Mia says she will always be Gordon's caregiver. Fun fact, I read in an article once that it shows that caregiving can be so stressful, relatively large percentage of them end up passing away due to the heavy stress and demands. So shout out to Mia for holding G down. This shows she still has real love for him. Andy then asks, what's the relationship like with him and Ink? And G says they're cordial. He acknowledged that his behavior is what drove Mia towards divorce. Good news, he dropped a lawsuit against his family and still has shares in the business. I'm glad to hear that because I'm sure he'll manage his finances better than before. Netka gets to finally sneak a few words in. She lets us know that she's from Wisconsin, honey. Unfortunately, also we find out Netka's IUI journey did not yield the results. She says the journey continues and all the ladies have been very supportive of it, sharing resources. Andy asks Karen to inform us on the difference between North Potomac and Potomac. She says she thought it was her responsibility to point it out. Ray even confirms we live in Central Potomac, which I thought all of Potomac was rich, but we're finding out there's sectors to it that I guess they appreciate more than others. We then get into the shrine of it all. Andy says production was not aware of the phone call that allegedly took place between Netka and Wendy's mother, but Wendy did say production told her that Netka said she knew her before becoming a part of the show. Netka said, no, I said I know of you. I met you at an intimate party before with about 10 people. Wendy continues to say she still doesn't know her. Now, if you were at a small gathering or a party and it was only about 10 people, I hope everyone would have mingled and got acquainted with each other, but at the end of the day, that doesn't mean you know someone after that. Netka does deny reaching out to Wendy to be on the show. Andy then asks, what does it mean to be Osu? Wendy quickly says, well, let Ashley answer.
Well, sis Ashley, you brought it to this platform. What does that mean?
Ashley then replies,
To be fair, I have never tried to misrepresent that I know what Osu means, number one.
Okay.
I know that it's something culturally sensitive.
I know that's right. Since you want to be in everyone's business all over town, tell this one, boo. She was on hush mouth for a second and says she knows it was something culturally sensitive, but says she didn't know the severity. So why are you even speaking on something you don't know about? You can tell she was so thirsty for camera time because it makes zero sense for her to be in that kind of conversation. This recipe calls for butter, not salt, boo. So allegedly, it's taboo to even talk about what Osu means, and Wendy says if Ashley even knew what it meant, she wouldn't even be talking about it. Netka ends up apologizing for calling Wendy's mom a witch. Andy asks what will it take for the two to get along, and Wendy says she doesn't need anything from Netka but for her to be accountable. Netka says she wanted peace and to move on, but things don't sound too promising between the two Nigerian queens. We then get into Kiarna, who I love. I really hope she gets a flute next season because she really deserves it. She definitely brought subtle, classy reads and fashion for days. I love her. She says she enjoyed the experience getting to know the ladies. She says she loves Candace, Karen, Robin, and Giselle, and Wendy, who she's known for about 5 years through a mutual friend. But Kate did say it bothered her that Wendy and Candace didn't check up on her while she was sick on the cast trip. Candace said Giselle was just checking on her, was strategic, which I do believe, to make them look like bad friends. Giselle didn't appreciate the strategic comment and said she actually cared for her. Dr. Wendy's package was up next, and we got updates on a few of her business ventures. She says the talk show was harder than she thought. She shuts down rumors about her candle line, saying the candles are still selling every day. I believe that fans were saying she moves on from business to business too much, and I don't understand what business that is of theirs to keep track of how many businesses someone else has. Everyone knows the goal is 7 streams of income. Hello? Anyways, Dr. Wendy will retire her teaching career due to missing too much valuable time with her babies. Mia found it appropriate to let Wendy know she was offended from her calling her slow this season, and Wendy basically chopped it up to the fact that Mia saying she was living by coastal in Maryland and North Carolina was the reason she said that. She didn't seem to care how Mia took that, but she did apologize for Netka and the crackhead comments. Mia said she also calls me a liar. Mia, girl. Candace was like, well, you kinda are. Mia be lying. And Mia responded quick with, and Candace be crying, girl, I died. Up next, we have Ashley Darby, not Barbie, who says she's dating a guy. He's nice, but he doesn't want to be married and he has no kids. And she wants to be married, so she's probably going to end up putting him in the friend zone. Andy said there's speculation of Ashley's divorce, that it isn't real, that it's for the TV show, and that she'll always be with him. And Robin asks, what was the holdup filing for the divorce? Ashley said her relationship with Michael was very contentious. They were coexisting. She says they were on a toxic cycle, saying after they wrapped, he was so nice to her and everything was good, but they're back in a toxic place. And she realizes people have narcissistic personalities, and she filed for a complaint to finally file her divorce. She says Michael isn't pushing the divorce, but is dating. Ashley said he was traveling on Valentine's Day, so she thinks he has a little boo thing. She still uses the shared credit card for only the kids in Uber Eats, but may have purchased her new boobs on the shared credit card. She gets asked by Andy, it seems like you never left Michael because of the money he had. She said she went to school, she wanted to become a news broadcaster, but Michael wanted to travel all the time, and they couldn't do that if she worked a 9 to 5, and she ended up too comfortable and became dependent. I hope he claimed her on his taxes, child. Andy asked how GNA was doing, and she says she and Giselle work great together. That didn't really answer the question. But okay. Personally, I haven't heard anything about it since the fashion show. I think they wanted a She by Sheree moment, and quite frankly, I don't think that'll ever happen. Karen says GNA is very much grocery store, I'm finna catch a man, or a booty call. Giselle said she'll take that. Didn't seem like she was offended by it at all. We get more information about the physical altercation that happened after the GNA show, and Andy asked Kiarna how it happened. She says she was trying to de-escalate the situation, and so was Wendy initially. She said the incident was awful, and she says she was then assaulted, and as her face was split with a glass, Deborah threw. Candace says she was just out of nowhere. She was in her section celebrating and eating shrimp when Deborah approached her. Mia says to Candace it was basically her words and how they were triggering, and Candace should be more mindful. Look, we should be able to go word for word back and forth with the dirty digs. Does that make it okay? No, but to be in someone's personal space getting physical is not what the show is about. Oscar the Grouch was definitely out of line. Giselle said all y'all girls were responsible. Deborah, Candace, Wendy, and Kay. Girl, you weren't even there. You should have pleaded the fifth on this question because now you really look like a Candace Wendy hater. Giselle said the brawl getting to TMZ was disturbing. Mia says you can't use those words, and Candace responded with, you can't tell me how to react to someone threatening her and being disrespectful. She says it's always justified violence when it's used against her, and she doesn't know if she would have thrown the bottle. Ashley says she didn't invite Deborah to be messy, claiming she wanted to clear the air with Candace. That's right there is why Ashley is part responsible for the GNA show going the way it did. Deborah was Ashley's guest, yet Giselle had zero smoke for Ashley. Ashley emphasized Deborah was a close friend and ends up apologizing to Kay. Kay said Ashley is the queen of aftermath apologies, but she also didn't think it was Ashley's intentions that night. Andy hopes for season 9 to be more productive. He asks if anyone wants to make up and leave their differences in yesteryear. He goes to Robin and Candace. Robin says she has no anger, but things don't heal overnight, especially when you were good friends. Candace agrees, saying she's in a neutral place because Robin said the friendship is over, so the ball is ultimately in her court. Andy then turns to Wendy and Netka. Netka says she tries taking accountability so they can move on, and no luck. Wendy says she can coexist and move on, and then adds the fact that she apologized for the crackhead comments, but things just don't sound too promising between the two. Andy says, I'm not even going to try with Candace and Giselle. Candace says she came to move forward. She tried from the bottom of her coochie, and Giselle barges in repeatedly saying she won't even acknowledge. She won't even acknowledge. And Andy says, they need Jesus, honey. Giselle laughs and says she can't wait for the reunion to air for the comments. Sweetie, I could have told you they weren't going to be in your favor. Andy thanks the ladies for the season with some pie, pumpkin, and pecan. Andy is clearly not cultured enough to know us black people do not eat pumpkin pie. We eat sweet potato pie, babes. As the reunion concludes, the ladies crown Andy the Duke of Potomac. Do you guys think we'll see the dynamic of Mia's new relationship on next season as she continues to care for Gordon? And would y'all be here for Kiana returning back for a second season? And lastly, where do you think this will leave Giselle with the ladies as Robin's departure was confirmed today? Will she and Karen be the new freaking frack of Potomac? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll check back in with you guys on the next one. Peace out.